What's up, guys? Welcome back to Filthy Rags Garage. Today, you might be able to guess, we're working on Thurston's Camaro. Now, in about 2 weeks, we're going to be taking it to the racetrack in Gainesville, and we're going to see if we can improve on the 12.5 that we got last time. So to do that, today's project is getting long tube headers on.
Filthy Rags Garage.
We're just going to jump right into, let me back up. We're at Johnny World. We're at my brother's house, Johnny, and he has his own concrete business, so he has a lot of equipment, and he has a lift that we're using today. He uses that to maintain his equipment and his trucks. He was gracious enough to let us use that today, and that's why I'm standing under Thurston's Camaro. But first thing to do to get these in, or to get the stock ones out, we're going to have to unbolt this skid plate. Now these 10mm bolts are going to run through this plastic shield. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I missed one because there should be 10. Yeah, so I got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. I missed one somewhere. But they look like they only hold on this plastic shield up here and back here, but they actually go through the skid plate. And without taking it off, we can't get the skid plate off. So we're going to take all those bolts out, get the skid plate off, and then we'll come back to you guys to show you what it looks like with that off. See you in about 5 seconds. Okay, so here's the skid plate out. There's actually more bolts in it than we thought. These little clips are for the 10mm. So we got the 4 up here. And we also had 1 here and 1 here, so that's 6. And then we had, I don't remember where the rest of them were, but the 15mm bolts, there was a lot more. There's actually 2 down there. One was a bolt, one was a nut. There was, looks like something was there. I can't remember now. There was definitely a 15mm bolt there. And then the same thing on this end. We had one 15mm bolt and then a 15mm nut. The bolt was right here and easy to get to, and the nut was hidden up in this hole. If you guys can see that. We'll probably show you when it goes back on. But there's a lot more bolts than we originally thought. But we got it off, and this section right here, there's a little tab that goes in here and like hooks on, that's welded to the cross member on the car, and I think that's there just for assembly, make it easier. So what I'm thinking is the clip or the hook would go in here and just stick out like that to hang it on, and then they would flip it up, bolt in the big 15mm bolts, and then put on the plastic shields with the 10mm bolts. But that wasn't as easy as we thought it would be, but we got it off. Here's where those farthest forward 15mm bolts go. We got 2 that actually go into threaded spots in the cross member, and then the 2 center ones go into these little clips. And that little tab here, we had to bend that out of the way, because what you would have to do, so like the skid plate's on like this, unbolt everything, you have to drop the back of the skid plate down and then move the whole thing forward to get off of this hook or this tab, and then we couldn't do that because it was actually hitting right here on the lift. So if you guys go to do this, take that in consideration. Look at where, this is where that 15mm nut was going on, right there, and then that's where the 15mm bolt went in. And so that skid plate was right here, and it came down and was touching this. We couldn't get it down far enough to get it off this tab. And it was a chore to get this thing up on the lift. This lift is made for trucks, not for sports cars or muscle cars. And we didn't want to mess with that again. So we just bent that down, took the skid plate off, and then we're going to put this back on, put the skid plate back on this tab, and then bend it back up when we're done. We got 4 bolts up there where the cat attaches to the header. We're going to get that off, and then we're going to lower the car and get the header off the car, or unbolt it from the head. Yeah, same thing on this side. And like Thurston pointed out, or was saying, on the passenger side, we're going to unbolt the cat here, and at the header, and then this whole section is going to drop down. Same thing. Got 4 bolts on the driver's side, and then I think we can just undo this clamp, of course, and then undo the O2 sensors. Don't forget that. This side, the O2 sensor is after the cat, so we don't have to do that on the passenger side, but the driver's side, it's one piece from the header. Oh, there's actually two O2 sensors. There's one right here, one right here. So we're going to unbolt it from the header, or yeah, from the stock manifold, unbolt this, take off one O2 sensor, take off another O2 sensor, and then it looks like we're going to have to unbolt this as a support, and then that should drop out. So on this side we got the same thing, 4 bolts on the manifold, 1 bolt here, 2 bolts here. We're not going to have to undo that. Oh, and there is an O2 sensor on this side as well. The passenger side has 1 O2 sensor, and then 7 bolts, and it'll drop out. Through the magic of editing, you guys are going to see this off right now. Alright guys, so we're back on top of the car. We were unable to get the cat unbolted from the manifold right now. The exhaust is still warm and half the bolts didn't want to come loose. I'm going to turn you around, and a lot of stuff in here. It seems compacted. So we're going to take the intake off of the throttle body, undo this sensor. I think that's a mass airflow sensor. And then there's one little bolt right here. And then this whole system is going to come out and free up all this space. And then we already have an oil catch can on here, a Maximus brand, which we love this thing. It's super easy to put in and it's working great. But we're just going to undo these 2 bolts that hold it on, and then we're just going to flip it over and lay it on top of the intake. Yeah, even that's still warm. Wow, that's still really hot. And then on this side, I don't see any way to get our hands in there and unbolt things without taking this reservoir off, this overflow tank off. So it looks like there's 1 bolt there, and then a small hose here, and then this large hose back here, and then we should be able to take this whole reservoir out and free up a bunch of space. And I can't see it, but I've read that we're going to have to take the dipstick out, like completely out, not just this portion, not the part you read on, but the entire dipstick. We're going to have to, I don't know if it bolts in or just snaps in, but we're going to have to remove that as well. And we may have to move some of these AC hoses, maybe just cut these clips that are holding them, or zip ties that are holding them in place. We'll just cut those and then pull those out of the way. They look like they want to move fairly easily, but we'll have to see once we get this overflow tank off. We're going to get to that, and then once we get to the heads, we'll bring it back to you guys. But you should be seeing that right about. As you can probably see, it's very dark outside. We had a long delay. My son was out here playing around and fell and hurt his arm. So we got that taken care of. And this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Thurston and I are exhausted. Unexpected problems. Let's see, we had to take these heat shields off, and there's 2 pieces of the heat shield, but we only took the top heat shield off. This was interfering with us getting the socket on the bolt holding on the manifold. So take that off, start undoing the bolts holding on the manifold, and we can move the ratchet about this far. It's like 2 or 3 clicks and then turn the bolt. This driver side, this front one, was the only one that we didn't have to do that on. I could get a full range on that thing. Again, we took the air intake system off, took the hose off at the throttle body, unbolted the heat shroud around the filter, took the whole thing out. That helped a lot with this one. And we also had to take the spark plug boots off. The driver side is actually easier, much easier than the passenger side. So let's go over there where the light is. here, we got these two heater hoses. They're stacked on top of each other. These two hoses that run to the firewall for the heater. They're in the way, don't have a lot of movement. I mean, that looks like a lot of movement, but you pull it this way, it's not enough to get your arm in there. Oh, and it's got this razor sharp zip tie end on it. Try to cut your dang hand off. And then this is just electrical wiring all wrapped up, but the way it is, it doesn't have a lot of movement either, so you're having to fight these heater hoses and this electrical loom to gain a ½ inch of space so you can get your arm in there. And same thing on this side, you got to pull the spark plug boots off. Just the way the stock manifold is designed, you can't take the manifold off without taking the spark plug boots off. Oh, and the oil dipstick bolts on right there. I don't know if you can see the camar's in the way. That right there where my thumb's pointing. Unbolt that. Well, loosen up this Torx bit on this cover, and it gives you enough space to wiggle this or move the cover to get to the Torx bit. And that oil dipstick was a royal pain. Look at this oil dipstick. Look at the shape of this thing. It's bolted on essentially like this. Goes through the header and turns and turns and turns and turns until it finally gets to the block where it's supposed to be. Right there. And look at all that. I had to wiggle, I had to move, shake, wiggle, whatever you want to call it, the manifold, at the same time I was trying to pull out this dang oil dipstick. Everything I've seen or read before on this upgrade, they said, oh yeah, don't forget to take the oil dipstick out. Don't forget how it was orientated or how you took it out, because you're going to need to remember that. Nobody says how hard that is. We got those dang manifolds off. Both sides. Both of them came out of the top. We took this reservoir off over here. I had to break some of these Christmas tree plugs. Had to break some of those so I could move these heater hoses and wire loom out of the way. And once I did that, the manifold came out sort of easy. And, on the driver's side manifold, that was hard underneath. So I'll only go ahead and do that and I'll show you. Oh yeah, while we're at it, we learned from the veterans around here, don't leave the hood up when you lift the car or you blow out the balls. See, we got lights there, lights there, lights there. This one don't have lights. None of them are there. They had made that mistake before, leaving the hood up on a car and then lifting the car, and the hood hits the lights and breaks them. He's not tired. He got tired last video. Right now he's exhausted. Was that the lift?
That was the lift. Exactly what happened to the pop. Don't worry about it, it's going to be alright.
Here, Thurston, come do this. For life insurance purposes. Couldn't get to. We had a hard time getting to this bolt because the O2 sensor is in the way. So when I put a wrench on the O2 sensor, I got about 1/8 of a turn out of it, or 1/16 of a turn, less than 1/8, and I was hitting the oil filter right here. So we figured we used our knuckle and a pipe as a cheater bar to break that loose. We finally got all 4 off, and we pulled the manifold out of the top. So now we're going to take this off. I'm going to take this clamp off right here, and then hopefully we can get this lowered enough to get a wrench on that O2 sensor. This is the passenger side. We're hoping the header should come real close to this and not past it, so we can just have the shop, I guess, put a flange on it and it'll bolt right in. But I'm afraid afraid it's going to come way past it, and we may have to unbolt it there. And same thing on the driver's side. I think we're going to have to unbolt it here and get rid of the cap. I don't know what we're going to do. If that happens, I don't know what we're going to do with both O2 sensors, but we'll probably just go to the muffler shop and have them weld in another bung. Because that O2 sensor, the front one, has a spot ready for it on the headers, the long tube headers. The same thing with this one. This one hanging has a spot ready for it, but that one does not, and this second one right here hanging does not. But we're going to get to it. We'll come back hopefully soon. Alright guys, so we're on day 2 now. We had to call it quits last night, and we were aiming for 11 p.m. We missed that at about 10 or 15 minutes after midnight. We had to stop. But Thurston came back today and finished up the top end. Got the reservoir back on, bolted, that's good. We got the air filter, air tube back on, hose attached, sensor on, filter. We didn't take the filter off, we took the whole assembly off. Got this bolted back down. Got our oil catch can bolted back down. Got the 2 bolts there, the can there itself, hoses, that's all still attached. Everything's good there. So now we're just at the point we're going to lift the car, get the skid plate back on. We're going to try and find our 13 mil wrench pre-drop down there. And then I think, we're going to get the O2 sensors plugged into the headers and then strap up the other 2 somewhere, and then we should be able to drive it and get the headers attached to the rest of the exhaust where the caps were. So that's a quick update now. Sorry we didn't film anything last night. We were just both really tired. We were both exhausted. Just kind of buttoned up what we had, put the tools away, and like I said, Thursday came back today and finished up this, and now I'm here after work, and we're going to get everything done now. Alright guys, so we got everything bolted up on the car. It's back on the ground. We're going to have Thurston get in it, start it up. It'll be the... right now it's open headers. I'm guessing it's going to be so loud you guys won't be able to hear it correctly. Probably going to blow out your speakers, but it'll sound great for us. Let's go ahead and get it started. Oh, and by the way, this thing is so low, we had to put it on blocks to be able to swing the lift out of the way. Are you ready? Wow, that was so loud. Oh. Man, I can feel that in my chest. Woo. Yeah, you need some connector pipes. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get that fixed. Oh, man. Yeah. Alright, well that's your sound clip. Project almost done. Like I said, we'll get those connector pipes on and we'll do another sound clip. Alright guys, that's the sound clip, that's the exhaust. We did have to leave the cats out, so that's the headers, and then just O2 sensors and open pipes all the way back to the muffler system we got. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Have fun. Thurston, you want to say anything?
Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe. Thank you.
Thanks for watching guys, God bless.